Hey everyone, the numbers are in for the second quarter for En Soleil in 2025. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. I'm asked all the time, hey, is now a good, in fact, I just hung up the phone. I'm laughing with the seller that said, hey, is now a good time to sell the condo? Is now a good time to sell the condo? So I'll show you a little bit about what I think in the market. It's pretty easy to show you if you probably already know. We only had one sale in En Soleil in the second quarter, June 16th. We had one of the three-bedroom units sell for 1195 on the second floor. Not unusual to see fewer showings happening in En Soleil just because the building doesn't trade as often or sell as often as some other buildings. It's the only sale of note. The trends, so that you keep up with this, I got to refresh this for condos. Once this refreshes, you're going to see that our months of inventory is still moving up. Remember, very simply, the higher the number of months of inventory, the worse it is for sellers or owners. That means that there's a lot of pressure on pricing. So when you look at, this is as clear as it gets from a trend. In the Gulf Front condo market's up to 15.6 months of inventory. Last year, we were at 6. So a couple ways to think about that. We're more than twice as slow in condo sales as we were this time last year. The reason we watch this line is because how pricing is affected. Usually when you have the months of inventory number creeping up a little bit, pricing is pretty stable. But look at what happens when you start to see the line really move up. Prices really start to clearly move down. If you look at this a couple of different ways, the average sales price for a condo on the beach is $637 down to $456. The average median sales price is $622.5 down to $430. Those are the average buildings. And we've moved up, pretty dramatically recently. So I do think it's still very possible that we see more depreciation in the condo market. It could even accelerate. I think this time last year, we were already talking about, or I was already talking about, in June of last year, we were already talking about that we had been creeping up. For 6 months, we were slowly starting to move up, but this is still neutral market territory. We were in seller market territory here. This line is about neutral. And we were just getting to about that neutral market. We had been month after month after month slowing down. But we had been slowing down in a hot market. So none of us really, unless you were really paying attention, you didn't feel that. And I think June of last year, a lot of people almost gave a slower market a pass because it was, hey, there was a presidential election year coming. And real estate markets usually do slow down seeing what's going to happen with the election. But the underlying fundamentals of condo ownership haven't changed in that time. And I think now that's exposed with what's happening in the market. So I'm just preparing people. They ask me, hey, is now the right time to list? Well, I don't have a blanket answer for that, of course. That's personal, what it is you're trying to do, why you're selling. If it's about maximizing on price and you're thinking about selling soon, then I would tell you, yes, the market is trending slower. In fact, this is our buyer activity for the last 5 years. We're the orange line here. And if you look at this very closely, we normally slow down for the rest of the year, meaning there are fewer buyers in the market. So if there are already very few buyers or we're already very, very slow, then you wouldn't be surprised to see even fewer buyers in the market. At some point, pricing is going to get exciting enough for some buyers to come back in. I don't know if we're there yet. So I think pricing could continue to pull back slightly until that happens. And I would just prepare people. The last time pricing really pulled back, 2008, 2009, it took a long time, years, decade, to find the bottom, stay at the bottom for a while. Fundamentals stay there, rental rates stay the same, HOA fees stay the same, insurance rates stay the same for a period of time. And then as things improve, pricing can improve, and then it moves back up again. And any market you watch, will have ebbs and flows. And right now, this is very indicative of what's happened multiple times in real estate. And it just takes a longer time than it would like if you're watching a tech stock or something like that. So from a timing standpoint, anyone who's really wanting to sell sooner rather than later, I would be encouraging sooner, getting your marketing going sooner. Only because it looks like prices are still trending down. So why would you wait to sell 3 months from now, 6 months from now if prices are going to be lower? If maximizing on price is the most important part. Again, floor height, condition, rental revenue in some cases, your position inside of En Soleil, those views are very different on different units. So those all matter. If you have specific questions, give me a call, shoot me a text, 850-290-0417. I'm happy to answer your specific questions. In the meantime, I'll keep you updated as we see things move along. Thanks for watching.